Hey guys, welcome back to ED Figure. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Today we're going to take a look at the SH Figuarts Todoroki Shoto from My Hero Academia. And I think the whole line so far has been really good. The only little gripe I have is that they're kind of in their own scale. They're slightly bigger than I want them to be. I think the Revoltech size is about perfect, but yeah, overall SH Figuarts seems a tad bit too big for me. And that's going to affect a lot of like future characters, right? But it seems like they're going really deep into the line. They have like a very outspoken product manager that handles the line. But anyways, here's the left of the box, here's the right of the box, and here's the back of the box. Again, as usual, I really care about like the facial expression, and it seems like this one is nailing it. And let's check it out. And here's the figures still in there, the packaging looking really good, and I'm actually quite impressed how much accessories we got here. Let's check it out. Alright, and here we have the figure itself, and my first impression on this figure is honestly quite mediocre. There are things that I like about the figure, and there are things that I don't. And you guys probably guessed, the biggest thing I don't like about the figure is the scaling. When the Deku first came out, like I mentioned earlier, I never really paid too much attention to scale, but now that I'm looking at it, they really screwed up, right? Deku being the first figure, they really have to like set the standard. Like, what is like some of the taller characters gonna look like now? Like, it's really annoying. They're kind of in their own scale right now, and I really don't know how Bandai communicates between like the teams, right? Naruto team doing their own scale, Dragon Ball doing their own scale, like what is it, right? So maybe if they're all working as a separate entity, I can see this happening, right? Because it's really annoying, because right now all the Revoltech figures are gonna be like out of scale compared to the SH Figuarts version, right? So yeah, like not a big fan of this at all. But do let me know in the comments on what you think. And I know they talk about looking at the dynamic posing first before the engineered figures, but I don't know, just looking at this Todoroki right here, I feel like because they try to engineer the figures in a way to do dynamic posing, the vanilla pose doesn't look that good. Like, the neck is obviously too long, right? If you look at it here, you're missing a little bit of the skin over there. You have to like kind of like look down to hide the skin. So they really focus on the articulation, and it's just kind of weird all around, and the figure's proportion look a little bit wacky as well. I just hope this figure could probably like shrink a little bit, maybe like, you know, the articulation could be like 10% worse, and you know, the proportion and the scaling could be just a little bit better. I feel like they make the figure bigger, so the articulation could be better. But again, that is just my guess and my opinion. Feel free to share what you think. And my figure for this particular copy, it is quite loose in some areas. The figure feels a little bit flimsy for SH Figuarts standard. Not a big fan of this as well. But anyways, I digress. I think we can jump straight into the articulation. I don't think there's anything you guys haven't seen already. And this line, I think, is meant to be played dynamically instead of like, you know, vanilla posing. Even though some of these characters look really good in the vanilla poses, supposedly. And for the articulation, let's quickly go over it from the neck down. He can look up about this much, look down about this much. You can move his head around. But again, I'm really annoyed by the missing plastic over here for the neck. And I feel like the neck is a little bit too long. I'm just looking at this in person. But yeah, let me know in the comments on what you think. I kind of wish the neck could be just a little bit shorter. Like, you don't really need that range anyways, right? The design itself really gives you a lot of range. But this is just a little bit extra for me. And for the shoulder area, my ball joint here is really tight, which makes it very annoying to pose with, because the bicep swivel is really loose, and it's really annoying. Like, when you have some of the joints that are loose, some of the joints that are tight, just makes the whole playing experience like very unsmooth. But you can curl about this much, of course, and you do have the regular ball hinge wrist. And this thing is really annoying. It's not annoying that you have to change for every single hand. It's just that this thing pops off very easily. This is like the minimal plastic they apply here, right? Like, just look at how thin that is. This thing can fall very easily. Let me show you guys. I can just like kind of push it a little bit like that. Wait. Yeah, so like it falls off really easily. And for the ab crunch area, I'm not going to handle that. Ab crunch area, the articulation is really weak, and you do have a lot of paint rub over here if you force the articulation or the ab crunch here. And then for the lower body, just the ball joint. And I know they put a lot of emphasis, see, this thing just dropped. But I know they put a lot of emphasis on these part, like being able to move around, like a great articulation and stuff. But everything else feels like shit, right? Like, Even this, the leg feels very, very flimsy for the SH figure art standard. He can kick up about this high, bend about this much. That's all good in that, but you know, like the figure just feels a little bit loose on some places and like super tight in some places. Like the proportion is a little bit wacky. I don't know. I know the director is very vocal, so but with this figure, he kind of lost some credibility, at least from me. But anyways, that's it for the articulation. This shoulder is really, really annoying. I'm gonna put some shock oil in it, and let's check out some accessories. And for the accessories, we're gonna start with the default face, and I think he looks really good here. They did capture the essence of the look of Todoroki. And the reason why I never got a Revoltech version is I think the face and the hair sculpt just looks really ugly. For some reason, it's just kind of hard to get it right for this specific character. I don't know why. And next up, we get a yelling face. Not my favorite, but this will probably look better with a dynamic hair. And next up, we get a more intense yelling face. Again, this will probably look better with a dynamic hair. And next up, we get like a little smiling face. This one looks very peaceful. And the last one we get here is the teeth gritting angry face. It looks really nice. I like it. And next up, we get the interchangeable head, and it does look good. I like the hairstyle. And it's kind of cool that the front part of the hair is interchangeable. That's really nice. Pretty cool look. And for the interchangeable hands, we have a lot of cool ones. But first off, we have a pair of just gripping display open hands, and these are really cool. And then we get a pair of display open hands. And next up, we get 2 types of display open hands, so the accessory count is actually very generous. And then we have these fire and ice fists. I love these effect parts, really cool. And next up, we have one right hand for the ice effect parts. This is a must for all Shoto figures. And lastly, we have the effect parts for the final form. It's really cool, and we also have the hand that goes with it. I believe that's everything, and let's check out some action posing. And for the size comparison, let us start with some SH Figuarts My Hero figures, and within their own scale, they actually look very good together. And next up, we have some Revoltech My Hero figures, and like I mentioned earlier, the scaling on these are just kind of off, and it's really annoying. And next up, we have some Dragon Ball SH Figuarts, and you guys can see how tall he is. And next up, we have some Naruto SH Figuarts. And next up, we have some of my recent favorites. And then we have some One Piece and JJK SH Figuarts. And lastly, we have some Mayfex and Figma, and let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, I can't believe I'll be saying this, but I don't recommend this figure. And it's incredible to me because it's been a while since I said something like this about a figure. Especially on SH Figuarts with such a big IP. Well, let's just put it this way. If you are a My Hero Academia fan, I'm sure you're still going to buy it, you're still going to love it. But as a mutual fan in 2025, I just don't think it's worth it anymore. There's so much to buy nowadays. We're even getting Haikyuu figures. I'm sure we're getting Blue Lock figures eventually, right? So it's better for you to save us some money and buy some other stuff. Like, there's just so much cool stuff. Like, third-party companies are making Black Myth Wukong, the InArt 112, I just got it, and Revoltech, that just, yeah, it's not worth it anymore. And let's just talk about a positive first, right? The accessories is really good, and I think that's about it. The effect parts are good, the facial expressions are good, but that's it. And nowadays, as a hardcore figure collector, I really care about the playing experience. And the playing experience on this figure just sucks. First of all, my leg is really flimsy for some reason. Maybe it's just my copy, right? But when you're trying to stand or try to make him stand, if you put on a table, the leg kind of just flares out automatically. There's no way for me to get him into this pose because there's no leverage here. There's no friction here. It's really hard to just keep him still. Like, it's really, really flimsy. I really hate that. That's like a no-no for me. And then I feel like the neck is too long, and I really don't like this piece over here. This piece falls very, very easily, like I mentioned earlier. I don't know if they cheap out on the plastic. There's really no reason. Maybe they're just trying to make it so it's really easy to swap, like it's not annoying to swap. But yeah, they calculate the math wrong for sure. Like, this is just way too short. And again, the neck being long, the body being stiff, the proportion just looks off. And I know the director kept pushing on, like, you know, we're gonna make the posing really, really good. We look at the picture first, or we look at the dynamic poses first before we make the figure. But I feel like they kind of miss out on the fundamentals because they're so focused on that, right? The vanilla posing is just so bad, and like the figure is loose where it's not supposed to be loose, and tight where it's not supposed to be tight, and just really, really hard to pose with. Maybe the factory sucks, not a director issue. Maybe like the factory just kind of screwed up here and there, right? I don't know. But I am a little bit frustrated dealing with this figure, and this is supposed to be a really cool character that I like, so I have more stuff to talk about. But anyways, let me know in the comments, and I just don't like the scaling. The scaling is just really bothering the hell out of me. And looking at it, I'm worried for Hunter x Hunter as well. Like, Gon seems a little bit big. I'll be getting him next week or so, but Gon being this big kind of worries me for like all the future characters. Is everyone going to be bigger now? Like, that's one thing I don't like about SH Figuarts sometimes being inconsistent with the scale. But anyways, this is Eric. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.